in this specific topic with taxing the rich and the topic of taxing the rich, and people say, well, Pat, you're rich. I don't dispute it. I don't say I'm not rich.
That's also 1%.
But what I'm saying is I don't dispute it. But here's a different part. So I'm looking at the commentary, and one guy's like, hey, Pat, just say it, you're rich. I'm like, so who's debating that? I'm not. Who's not debating that? Here's the debate. The debate is the following. The debate is this guy came from a broken family, divorced. My out was the Army because I had a 1.8 GPA. So Jesus Guerra came and recruited me, and I was not a good athlete. So I can't get a full ride scholarship because I never disciplined myself to play sports, even though I was in shape, even though I was tall, right? So I go into the Army. I'm going to do 20 years. Then I go into 20 years. I get a phone call. A guy challenges me named Kogan, says, I think you can do more when you get out of the Army. I said, dude, I'm not getting out. I'm re-enlisting tomorrow. He calls me at midnight. Kogan Alaverdian, one of my best friends in the world. Sweetest guy. You've never met him. You'll meet him. You'll love this guy. So I go to sleep, try to go to sleep. I wake up in the morning, go to Lieutenant Colonel Peacocks, and I say, listen, I'm going to get out of the Army because I'm going to go pursue my dreams. But thank you for everything you got me. Everything he got that I wanted on my orders, he got me. Till today, I'm looking for Lieutenant Colonel Peacocks. He probably ended up being a general because the guy was a G, he was a leader. I get out. I struggle. First business, fails. Second business, fails. I tried a personal profit portal, internet, fails. All these things I do fails. I'm working at Bally's. I quit my job to try to do a business. I'm in debt $49,000. I go back to recruiting to say, if I go back into the Army, what would I get? Negotiations come in because there's a part of it that can pay off your debt if you sign in for 6-8 years. I'm like, that's great. I'll go back into the Army. Then I get this one message saying, hang in there. See what happens. A little bit longer. Hang in there. A little bit longer. Hang in there. A little bit longer. I hang in there. I applied to get a job at Morgan Stanley Deanwood. I applied 100 different places. I was hustling to get a resume in. I eventually got the job. They offered me 3 jobs. I went in without a 4-year degree, 2-year degree. I hadn't taken a test for 3 years because 4 years I'd gone out. I don't know what it is to take a test for 4 years, right? My brain's not been working with tests. My brain's been working with push-ups, pull-ups, all that stuff. I go take the Series 7 exam. I'm studying day and night. I don't know if I'm going to pass this. I'm taking a test. I press that button. You don't know what's going to happen. Morgan fires you if you don't pass the test. And when I'm pressing it, I said, if I fail, I'm re-enlisting to the Army today. I swear to God. And I press, boom, 30-second pause. It's a 6-hour test. Dude, I can't even tell you what my exam. I was in Culver City at the...
How old were you at this point?
21, 22 years old.
Wow.
I take the test December 12th of 01. So a couple months after 9/11. Result shows up, 78%. I said, no freaking way. 78%. Shit, I get to keep my job. So I go back and I show it to Morgan and say, look, you got 70. I said, I got 78%. It's like, damn, none of us thought you were going to get. I said, dude, I didn't think I would get 78%. Got 78 freaking percent.
1.8 GPA.
So then I stay. I work my ass off. My dad has a heart attack. Rather than partying 5 days a week, I put my head into the books and I start reading. A girl the other night, we're having dinner, and everybody's talking about their school. So I went to this school. I went to that school. And I'm just enjoying all the conversations because, like, oh, I got my MBA, I got my master's, I got my PhD. I'm like, freaking, this is all. I'm the last one. This is sick. So what school did you go to? I didn't go to college. No, come on, Pat. What's university? I'm telling you, I never went to college. I had a 1.8 GPA in high school. Community colleges wouldn't accept me. No way. You're too smart to not. Come on, what college? I said, I'm telling you. I read 2,000 business books, and I studied topics. So if I chose a topic, I bought 20 books on that topic, and I read just that topic, that subject for 2 months. Then I went to the next topic and the next. That's what I did. So some people who want to say the rich people have these special, gifts and all this other stuff, I'm sorry, you just don't want to read books. You'd much rather watch Netflix. So that argument is, I believe anybody can reach their capacity. Sure. Anybody has that shot, but it takes so much freaking work, pain, that not a lot of people want to go through. Don't get me wrong. Life happens to many different people. I'm not here to judge. But all I'm saying is the system of capitalism, the greatest system in the world that allows a guy like me who doesn't have nowhere in my life you can pinpoint to say this guy was going to win a life. Not one thing you can pinpoint. Nothing. Yeah. Not one thing you can pinpoint. That's why I believe in capitalism. Versus my family believed in communism. My family believed in socialism. Now I'm like, listen, just leave me alone. Let me see what I can do. If my market's 50, I'm good. I'm happy because I'm giving my best. If my market pays 75, I'm happy because I'm giving my best. But if I keep bringing value to the marketplace, all of a sudden an opportunity is going to come up. Yeah. And you can't predict that opportunity. All of a sudden someone's going to say, you know what? We're going to do this project. I want you to be a part of it. Here's how it's going to work out. And boom, your name pops up. What the hell just happened here? Because behind closed doors, rather than throwing the towel, you're giving your best. capitalism works. It's those who don't work that hate capitalism, unfortunately.
You did a video.
Those who don't work and don't improve. Some say, I work my ass off, but they don't read books. It's those two criterias. You got to work, you got to improve, you got to have a decent attitude. If you have that, capitalism is going to favor you.
Strategize, outlast, you always say.
Just the first two. Just the first two. The first two will land you a good job.
You did a video that just came out on Valuetainment. It was entitled, They Will Find You.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And I think there's some symbolism right there, a metaphor for basically what you're saying. And you saw in the comments, because sometimes you'll read the comments when I'm feeling like some S&M vibes. And they were like, Pat, you're the anomaly. You're lucky. Oh, hell yeah, Pat, you're the man. Great to go. Pat, you got lucky. I can't do it. I've been working my ass off.
Fine.
How do you grapple with that? Because you are the anomaly.
But that's not true, though.
But because you worked your ass off.
That's not true, though. Listen, nothing about what I said has to do with my last name. Nothing with what I said has to do with the school I went to. Nothing with what I said has to do with certain, God-given. Nothing with what I said has to do with that. Formula is very transferable to others. I don't jump 46 inches. My name is not LeBron James, and I jump 46 inches. I'm not that guy, okay? I'm not a statistician that I can just go through some of the stats, that stuff, and I'm Ray Dalio. No, I'm not that guy. It's called work your ass off, okay?
Yeah.
And improve. Work your ass off. I challenge anybody to do the following. Take 4 subjects: sales, negotiation, human nature, okay? Sales, negotiation, human nature, and money. Go to Amazon. I will fund this if somebody wants to do this. You do it, you come back to me, nothing changed, I'll fund the whole cost that you had here. 4 topics. Read every book on negotiation, above 400 reviews on Amazon, that's 4+ star. Read any book that's above 4-star, 25 of them, 400 reviews on sales. Read any book on human nature, psychology, persuasion, any of that stuff. 4-star, like how to win friends, all that stuff. Then read any book on money with 400+ reviews. Read principles, like things like that by Dalio, by Buffett. And for 2 years, obsess over doing that. For 2 years, obsess over doing that. 2 years later, work your ass off and improve in a marketplace. Figure out a way to improve your attitude. Sometimes half the battle is people have some shitty, negative, unattractive attitudes. They're a crap magnet. Everything is shitty. Everything is complaining. Everything is somebody else's fault. Nobody is turned on by somebody that constantly blames somebody else. Nobody. I go on, when I was single, I would go on dates and I would talk to a girl. My last boss was a jerk. My last boss was an asshole. I said, out of your last 5 bosses, which one of them were assholes? All of them. I'm like, shit, it's not the boss's problem. It's you. It ain't no boss's problem. It's your attitude sucks.
Yeah.
Within an hour, you saw the attitude.
Right.
You read those 4 topics, 2 years. Work your ass off. Come back to me 2 years from now. Matter of fact, you won't even come back to me because you forgot about it because you're killing the marketplace. The market rewards people who outwork and out-improve. It's proven. This doesn't mean you're going to be a millionaire in 2 years.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean you're going to be a billionaire in 2 years. Here's what it does mean too. Your market value is increasing. Somebody may offer you something special next 2 years. Some opportunities come up. You go into a company. How many guys work at a company for $50,000, $60,000, $80,000? Company starts growing. Next thing you know, they're making 100, 150, 200. Next thing you know, they get shares. Behind closed doors, they're investing money into a 401k, retirement, whatever. Then 10 years later, company has an exit. This guy gets a $6.8 million check. How the hell did you do it?
Yeah.
It ain't that. And you know how many people have done this, by the way?
A lot.
Not 10,000. Not 100,000. Millions have done this.
What you're describing is what education was before government got involved.
Yeah.
in it.
So
you're describing what college was for hundreds of years. You're describing, the Socratic and Platonian method of education. This No Child Left Behind thing is less about educating people, and that was Bush did this. It's less about educating people, and it's, do you show up on time and are you obedient? That's all we care about in education anymore. We don't actually care about teaching anybody anything. This is why Jeff Bezos wants all of his employees to go to college. Do you show up on time? Are you obedient? Then you will graduate. Then you will move on to another school where you can, as long as you pay money and you show up on time and you're obedient, you'll get your certificate that says I'm now allowed to earn money when you're $100,000 in debt. When you're $100,000 in debt, it makes you a lot easier to control in that environment. You can't go out and take the risk that you took when you're $100,000 in debt.
I was $49,000 in debt.
Well, you're also an alpha. You're a hunter. There's a hunter-gatherer issue here. And listen, we got a show coming up where there's a big conversation between the difference between a gangster and a racketeer.
Yeah.
And a gangster can be a racketeer, but a racketeer can't be a gangster. That's the debate. I think hunters can be gatherers. I don't know if gatherers can be hunters. Then Thomas Sowell, I think, said it best.
I don't disagree, but I will tell you something. I will tell you something in that part. Here's the other part. You ready? Okay. Do you judge somebody by their friends?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you judge a guy who's got a girl? How do you judge him? Or a gal that's got a guy? Like, let's just say girl married up or a guy married up. What do you say about that guy or that gal?
Must be something about him I don't know.
It's just going to be like, you know what? Good for him. That's what I say. Legit. You're a good salesperson. Good for you. Whatever you did. And you keep him because you know how sometimes, a woman marries up, but they can't keep the guy. And sometimes a man marries up, but he can't keep her. The challenge is also keeping. It's not about a 1 year, 2 year, 3 year thing. We're very quick to always blame the guy, but it's both people's jobs.
It's not about getting, it's about keeping.
It's about keeping. Anybody can get. Who hasn't gotten somebody, but can you keep them, right? That's the name of the game.
It's like in Seinfeld. Anyone can take the reservation, but can you hold the reservation?
True. Philosophy. You have to go that angle. But so going back to it. Here's what I would tell you. Going back to it. You know what I will say? This is what I will say. If you're a hunter, gatherer, whatever you may be, you're a hunter, you're a gatherer, whoever you may be, it's your job, if you're a gatherer, to team up with a hunter. And if you're a hunter, it's your job to find the right supporters. I'm not sitting here saying everybody is the same. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not saying everybody's an alpha. Not at all. I think there are people that are not alpha that are richer than alphas, though, because there's a lot of alphas that have terrible attitude that cannot coexist around other people because they keep getting in their own way. I know a lot of alphas that keep getting in their own flipping way. Sometimes an alpha may need to step back and say, look, I get it. I can't win as a 1. I can't win as a 2, but I'm going to be the sickest freaking alpha at number 4, number 6, and I'm going to crush it. And gradually I move up. What is the whole purpose of being number 1 is that other people with personalities can coexist. If your ego is so big and you can't keep people around you, that says something about you, not you. That says something about the individual that can't keep you. So we're on the same page. I'm not disagreeing with you. But if you're a gatherer, guess what? If you're a person that's a supporter and you read those 4 books, those 4 topics next 2 years, and then you come to an alpha and you say, you know what, Patrick, I'll tell you something. What's that? I read a book, and here's what it said in the book. I'm like, shit, I never thought about it that way. Yeah, it's here. Let me share it with you. Hey, let me tell you, I just read an article that said this about, we should do this in the company. I never thought about that before. That's also now the alpha's like, I'm not that good without that guy. Shit, I better keep that guy around. That guy knows what the hell he's doing because I don't know that kind of stuff. So there is a way to always provide value in the marketplace.
And the bigger thing here is like college, to your point, it's almost like an idiot test at this point. You're going to spend all this money when all you need is your phone and an internet, and you can read everything. It goes back to that Goodwill Hunting thing where it's like, what? I'm the idiot, but you're the guy spending $30,000 a year when all you needed was a library card at the public library, right? It's the same thing now. It's all on your phone. Yeah. You can get it. You can pay a professor $1,000 for his entire syllabus and do the work yourself. But there's not a lot of autodidacts out there. They won't actually do the work. Yeah. They won't do it.
So that's the part. The onus. I prefer to put the onus on me. That's what I always like to do. I like to put the onus on me. What could I have done differently? I can't change you, but I can sit there and say, what could I have done? So this whole thing about, well, screw the rich, screw these guys, screw those guys. Dude, look, let me transition into the Amazon story because you brought it up, and I think it has a lot to do with what we're talking about.
Real quick, Thomas Sowell, because I think you'll like this, and this goes to what they're saying. You're rich, you're rich, you're rich. Thomas Sowell has a great quote about it. It's a simple question. He goes, what percentage of somebody else's money do you deserve? What percentage of somebody else's earnings do you deserve? Who's the actual selfish one here? You did nothing. Absolutely nothing, but because this person has more than you, you think you deserve some of that? Like, what type of narcissist are you?
I did a video one time titled "The Ugliest Qualities." Okay, ugliest qualities. One of them was a person that constantly blames. Another one is a person that's constantly entitled. Another one's a person that's constantly playing in the victim game. You got the manipulator. You got the divider. These are all disgusting qualities. Like, I'm allergic to all of that stuff. When a person has those qualities, you can't be around me for too long. You're going to hate me. If you have any of those qualities, you're not going to like being around my presence because I'm always going to say, what could you have done differently about it? You're going to be like, what could I have done? Do you know what my mom and my dad did? Dude, I get it. I can say the same story. He's got one of the craziest father stories. He's a millionaire. How did he do it? What could you do differently about it? Well, you know what? But it's not like that. You don't know what it is to be. I'm like, okay, then at this point, you're right. I don't know. I'm not even debating him. You're right. I don't know what it is to be in that situation. I don't know any about that stuff. Anyways, let me go to this here. What you're talking
what you're
about.
saying to put a bow on that is it's so freaking easy to come up with an excuse. It's so much harder to look in the mirror and be like, dude, get it to fucking together. Like, it's on you at the end of the day.
And
is what
it's
you're
even
saying.
easier when you have celebrities and politicians and people that are supposed to be our leaders being like, you know what? You're right.
You're right.
It is an evil system, and the rich are terrible.
Hands, by the way.
Oh, you're so. They're edifying and codifying these people that are having these moments of vulnerability.
People are going to stand up, though. People are going to stand up. People have to start standing up right now. And I'm not talking about it in an asshole way. You don't need to be an asshole to stand up. But people need to stand up and have a little bit of a backbone.
Can I be a little bit of an asshole?
No, you can't, because then you don't convert. Then the mission isn't converting, because right now the biggest battle that's going on right now is the battle of converting. Who's going to convert better?
Yep.
It's all about who's going to convert better. What's going to help you to convert better? Being an asshole doesn't convert. It just doesn't. You can be the smartest asshole in the world. You're not going to convert nobody.
Pat,
it's what?
That's my problem with Trump.
What do you mean that's your problem with Trump?
He's not converting people.
I
think the people love him, and they also hate him because he's the biggest asshole in the world.
Yeah, I don't.
And the problem is that he's not getting the people on the fence to be like, all right, I'm going to go with the asshole.
But he's a catalyst. He's a catalyst, though, and he's making people who would have sat on the sidelines get in the game.
No, they didn't. He just lost. So he lost.
Yeah, you went to a whole different angle here. We can go there if you want to. I don't mind going there.
When I think of asshole, I think of Trump.
Yeah,
and again, people love him because he's the asshole.
Half the country do. Half the country.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
but he's not converting enough to win.
But wait a minute. This guy beat Hillary Clinton.
The least liked candidate.
No. You cannot say,
ever.
Bro, are you kidding me? This guy beat a person with one of the most ridiculous qualified resumes to go in that. He's a nobody to beat Hillary Clinton.
You can't say Donald Trump is a
he's
nobody.
Never been in politics,
but
buddy.
That's what they loved about him.
Even Reagan was a governor before. Reagan was a president of SAG. Reagan had been in politics. Nobody's done what Trump's done. Nobody.
Let's not
By the way, you can't put one person.
Pat, I agree with you.
So,
but that doesn't mean he's not a freaking asshole.
I don't
Did Trump
debate
get
that.
more votes or less votes in
but
his re-election campaign?
He converted.
Did he get more votes or less votes than when he beat Hillary?
Well, a lot more people voted.
He got a lot more votes.
Hey, I think the angle to take is the following. Here's what I would tell you about Trump's biggest challenge. You ready? Giving birth to unnecessary enemies. For what?
That ain't going to stop.
For what? Why are you giving birth to unnecessary enemies? What's the motive there? I understand, go straight, like the way he came out with his campaign. We're having people come across that are rapists that are, fully get it. You wanted to have a blast. Everybody talks about it. Everybody invites you to the brilliant strategies, like an AOC using his strategy. Brilliant strategy.
Great marketer.
Genius. But he created unnecessary enemies. Unnecessary enemies. When the topic of discussion takes place here in Florida, and I ask, who do you want to see? Let's just say it's between DeSantis and Republican, and then and Trump. Some camp says Trump. Some camp say DeSantis. Those who say DeSantis, they say it's the same exact policies as Trump, minus the unnecessary
I've
battle.
said it before. I'd vote for DeSantis.
Well, you said
Trump.
It's
not
I
happening.
and me versus we and us. That was he made two major mistakes. He uses I and me instead of we and us.
Yeah,
and that was his major mistake.
I alone can fix it. He lost me. I was like, you're the guy. You're the Messiah.
Yeah.
It's the narcissist
complex.
But
when a Democrat says, "Give me all your money and I'll change the weather," that doesn't bother you?
Who said that?
That's essentially what the Green New Deal is.
I don't know.
Give us 90%
Okay, I'm
taxes.
not a supporter of the Green New Deal.
But I would
so no to that as well.
I would tell you the flip side of it. I would tell you the flip side of it. If there is the unnecessary enemies that are out to face what's going on today, you need such a strong guy. You need such a strong guy. You cannot have a lightweight guy that's going up against what's going on today. Because it's whatever Republican becomes the president next, it's going to be one of the hardest positions, jobs. They're going to destroy this guy, they're going to destroy him, the next guy. It's going to be one of the toughest jobs to have, the next person.
Do you think there will be a fair election? Honest to God.
Yes,
even
I
in the
do.
midterms,
Yes,
do you
I
think
do.
there will be a fair election?
No, I don't think so. Because historically, this is part of like when he says, hey, why don't you become better at stealing and why don't you become better at manipulating the game? No, I don't think there is. I think that's part of but I don't think that's anything new. I think that's been part of election for 240.
We just have cameras on it now?
I just think it's a little bit more, you need more technology today. You need a little bit more advancement today. You need a little bit more creativity. I don't think it's going to be a fair election. No. I don't think it is. But I don't think they need to use that as an excuse to lose. I think they need to be like if you're going up against Patriots and they're watching, fine. Okay, then confuse the shit out of them. But they have our playbook. I don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. Don't do the play that you're going to do. Confuse the hell out of them. Absolutely. So it doesn't matter what it is. They have your playbook. You still got to. Today I went to the gym in the morning. Freaking guy, man, this guy pisses me off because I go in. So when you think about drop set, what do? You do 2 plates, then you go to plate and 25, then you go to a plate. This guy does the opposite. So I go and I'm like, so hey, I want you to do this bench with a plate on each side 15 times. Okay, cool. Pop, 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 pop. Every time I leave, my entire body hurts. I'm crying. I get in my car. I sit there. I cry for like 5 minutes by myself. I just don't want him to see it.
I'd like to get a camera on that.
So I go in. I'm like, okay, let's start. Do this 15 times. I'm like, I don't know where this guy's going to go. He's the most unpredictable trainer I've ever had. Yeah. You feel good? Good. All right, let's put some more weight on it. 5-second break. I'm like, no, you're supposed to go. He said, no, just push it. Push it. Push it. And he doesn't say push it 8 times. Push it 15 times. I can't push it 15 times. Yes, you can. Go. So I'm going 10. 5 more. So I'm like, we're done, right? Put some more weight. Go. This doesn't make any sense, but he's shocking the body. Politicians have to be doing that.
Stop shifting blame onto the other people. You can do the 15, man.
Seriously, it's over with.
Enough it. Look in the mirror and make it happen.
I'm just being a little baby right now. But I tell you, man, I feel amazing with what this guy's doing.
We're happy that you're doing this in the morning now. It's
amazing.
Great.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.